How's it going, everybody? I am finally bringing you part 2 of my mystery box purchases, or excuse me, acquisitions, I guess I should say, which is the KWA LM4. So yes, as I said, I did win the mystery box Battlestar ticket with a friend. We split the guns, and the two things I ended up with were the KWA Chris and this guy. He got, I think it's like Asia Airsoft P90 and ICS Galil and a shotgun. So he's going to come on and review those later on. But for now, I am bringing my thoughts on this thing. And this isn't an unboxing. I've taken it to a game already, and I've chroned it, and I've played around with it a lot. First, before I even mention a thing about the gun, I'm just going to show you like what you're gonna get when you get this gun. Which is first the KWA box, of course, but it's actually kind of a sleeve type thing. I don't really understand why, but basically it sits in the styrofoam and it slides in and out of that. It's, if I'm being honest, it's a little cumbersome. I'm not entirely certain why that would be the case, but I mean, for something like this, you'd probably much rather have some sort of like hard case or like a soft style gun case, just because it's something worth showing off. So, get that out of the way. And here is the actual gun in its styrofoam case. So, what you get, of course, is the gun and the magazine. Then you get a nifty little barrel cover. That's nice. Thank you, KWA. And then, held in place by a KWA sticker, you get this, which I really wish I knew about before I tried loading this thing entirely by hand. This is a nifty little speed loader. It's actually something I'm pretty impressed with. The construction of it is very nice. I mean, you got metal casing, and then the lips right there on the end fit perfectly over the KWA mag, so that's kind of cool. And then you get a little baggie with two little things inside of it. Now, this is for adjusting the front sight. This is for adjusting the hop-up. I will get to that in a minute. Now, the gun itself. This is the best airsoft gun I have ever held. I am not exaggerating when I say that. This is fantastic. I mean, it's something that I might be appreciating just a little bit more, excuse me, than I would be because I got it for the deal that I did, basically 160 bucks for this and the Chris. But this is something that I would have had no problem shelling out the cash for, which would have been about 380 bucks. Now, that is a pretty steep price for a gas gun. But with that said, this gun is worth every single freaking penny that you pay for it, because everything on it just feels so sturdy and well put together. I mean, the extendable stock feels exactly like it should. The metal body is just unbelievably durable. Front handguard, there is no wobble on that whatsoever. Feels fantastic. Everything on this gun is just amazing. I can't express that enough in words. You have to try and feel this gun. I do want to get to one little gripe I have, one tiny little gripe. I don't know what's happening with this, but for some reason the paint on the mag seems incredibly thin, and it seems to have a single coat, because you can see that little spot right there. That's from basically nothing hitting this gun, and it's happening on both sides. So for some reason the paint on the mag itself isn't the best, and it's happening on the back too. It's just the paint's coming off everywhere. I haven't even used this at a game. I've taken it to a game so I can put it through a chrono, but I haven't actually even fielded it. So, and that's just like taking it in and out of this, that's laying it down, something brushing against it. It's anything is making the paint come off on this mag. So, that's a bit of an issue. The gun itself, though, there is not one scuff happening to this gun. It's got a bit of styrofoam on it, but that's just from putting it in this for now. I don't even know what the hell else to say about how this gun feels. I mean, 10 out of 10? Yeah, that doesn't even come close to describing it. It feels unbelievable. It does come with an orange tip, however, that has been removed thanks to a bit of acetone. Thank you. So if you do want the orange gone on the front of it, acetone will get you down to just the base black on this thing, which I do think is very much necessary, but make sure you're in an area which allows non-orange tips on your guns. So, if you're in Canada, sorry, you can't even have this thing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, as far as performance though, that's the biggest issue with this thing, because making a gas gun your primary is going to run you into a few issues. First of all, the price of these guys. These run about 45 to 50 bucks depending on where you look, and that's per mag. If you compare that to, say, just like a box of mag mid-caps for your AEG, I think you pay about 50 bucks and you get 8 to 10 of those. That sets you up pretty much permanently. You don't need any more than that unless you're really heavy on the trigger. But, if you want, say, 6 of these, what is that, 300 bucks about? Yeah. Ugh. And yeah, that's getting close to the price of the gun itself. So that's a bit of an issue. Also, they only hold about 44 rounds. That's another big issue. However, the plus side of that is if you end up turning this into a primary and you do end up shelling out the cash for that many mags, that is going to teach you trigger discipline like crazy. So, maybe that's not such a bad thing that you need to pay so much to get enough mags to sustain you, but they don't hold that much. Because trigger discipline can be a good thing. So, what this is going to become is not frontline, high cap, just as you continuously wind. You will not be doing that with this. With that said, I think the satisfaction you'll get from using this at a game is not comparable to anything. I've fired quite a few AEGs which have made me feel just really, really great, and they feel amazing. The ICS Khalil's one of them. You'll see. But this thing, oh my god. I have had it in the hands of about 3 to 4 people now, and every single one of them says that it's pretty similar to what it feels like when you fire a 22. And very into this video, you'll see just a little bit of performance with this thing. So, mag goes in, it's full of BBs, well, not now it isn't, right now it's empty and there's nothing in the chamber. So, slide goes back, or bolt, excuse me. You can see inside the breech, you can see inside the mag, everything on this just feels, it feels like they tried to make something as real to life as they possibly could have. So, that's kind of nifty. Also, it does strip just like the real M4. I'm trying to think if I have any complaints about this. I'm trying to be as honest as I possibly can and be as unbiased. And the biggest thing I come up with, first of all, is the price, which is outrageously high. And then second of all, the usability, because this is not something I could recommend for just like an entry-level player. Mostly because of, let's say if you have a budget of about 400 bucks, you're going to get this, and then maybe you're going to have enough for a second mag, and you're going to run out of ammo fast. So, I'd like to point out that that direction is basically my closet, which is full of soft shirts. So, that's not even, there isn't even anything in here, I'm positive of that, but this is just so you can hear what it sounds like inside. Yeah. So, that's it on semi-auto. Very loud, very good amount of kick. Now, let's try full auto. Yeah, that's it on full auto. And it's so much fun. I can't stop firing this thing. But yeah, as I started to say before, when you actually do put the mag in, like any gas pistol or just like the real thing, you need to pull the bolt back. There is a bolt catch, which, if you've ever held an AEG M4 before, this little button, which used to be useless, that's now the bolt release, or the bolt catch. Also, if you've ever noticed this little thing, that finally has a use too. Because basically what that does is it's actually kind of hard to do, but basically what it's for is when you're pulling the bolt back, and when it goes forward but it doesn't go all the way forward, you push on that a few times and it pushes it forward. It's just got little teeth and it just kind of nudges it forward. Oh, yes, I do have something which I can call a bit of an issue. Let's lock the bolt back. Adjusting the hop up. If you can recall, this little fellow, that is for adjusting your hop up. And you need this to do so. Because you adjust your hop up right inside there, and you cannot get to it with your fingers. Well, you maybe could, but yeah, it's not going to be easy. So you have to use this, and you have to put it inside there and catch it on the grooves, and then turn it with that. Not the best system I've seen for adjusting your hop up, because you need this, which means in the middle of a game, if you need to adjust your hop up, you better have this on you, because if not, then you need to run back to your car or base camp or wherever you're keeping your stuff. So that is one very small complaint, mostly because I've never actually had to fix my hop up in a game. I do that while I'm at home, before I go out to a game. You know, I check my hop up, I check how things are going, so I've never needed to adjust one in the middle of a game. I haven't gotten a chance to look around to see what I want to do to alter this thing in terms of putting like a rail system on it. I haven't checked pricing on that. I know it's just going to be the same as AEG stuff, but I don't know what I want to put on this thing yet. I know for a fact I'm never getting rid of this, because this is something that, this is a wall hanger. This is something that I want very close at hand just to fiddle with and play around with. It is so much fun. But again, I keep coming back to that same issue of using it in a game. Also, it doesn't actually shoot that hot. I mean, I think on their site they said it shot about 360, 370. This one chroned at about 340 to 350. Now that's not that bad, mind you. It's a lot better than my friend's M4, which he just picked up, which chroned at about 220, I think. Oh, hi kitty. Forgive the orange cat. He likes Airsoft too. Hi, buddy. Yeah, as I said, shoots about 340, 350. Now, that actually could mean that you could potentially use it for CQC, depending on your CQC limits. I know in Oregon we've had a few facilities which chroned about, or where chrono was about 350 for CQC. So that means that this could totally be usable for that. And I believe in California, please, if someone's watching this, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the CQC limits are about 350 down there. Meaning, you could totally use this for a CQC gun, and that would scare the crap out of anyone that happens to be downrange of you, because this thing is loud and terrifying. Outside, it does reach. It very much reaches. I would recommend not using .2s in it though, because it likes to float with those. I've even adjusted the hop up and they still just float. So I'd recommend .23s, .25, something a little heavier. I mean, every little feature you can think of that's on a real M4 is on this. Of course, it comes with the carry handle, and the sights are very much adjustable on that. And you can switch between the fine point to the larger point. I prefer the larger point. Fine point I can barely see through, but sometimes I'm blind as a bat with my vision. Yeah, if I had to give this gun a rating, I don't even think I could give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's better than that. You do of course get your lovely KWA trades right there on the side with Made in Taiwan, which is oh so lovely. But that's not even an issue for me. This gun is just fantastic. Yeah, I think I'd have to give this thing probably a rating of the best airsoft gun I've ever held. Performance is maybe a little bit lower, but in terms of like fondling and holding and just messing around with, yeah, this is the best one I've ever held in my life. And I've played with a gas M249, and this is better. Yeah, that is pretty much what I wanted to say about this thing. Again, the price. So if you're thinking of getting one, very much sit and think about if you want to actually make this your investment, because while this thing is fantastic to fondle with, think about like how you airsoft. I mean, if you go out for long periods of time and you end up firing like through 4 high caps or something like that, this is not the gun for you. I'd say start training yourself to use less ammo. I mean, maybe get some low caps or just some standards for your AEG, and then start training with those before you move up to this, because you will need to conserve ammo while you're using this thing. Oh yeah, I know what else I can talk about. This little guy. So when you're loading, first of all, loading them by hand does kind of suck, but you need this. So that fits over the front just like that, fits on there perfectly, and then you load that up with BBs, push it down, and it holds. Unfortunately, this is not actually the full capacity, so if you fill this up to the top and push it in, you can put maybe like that many more into it. So I do wish that this was just like a single mag's worth, you know, fill it up, push it in, you're good to go. But if you want it completely filled, you need a full one of these and a little bit more. Oh, kitty left. So, I mean, that's another minor issue, because, I mean, you can get just a normal speed loader, which probably has something like this, and you're going to be fine. In fact, you can load all your mags really quickly if you have more than this. A friend of mine tried trading me for this as soon as he found out that I had it, and then he ended up just buying one himself. His is slightly more modified, as it is secondhand. This one came brand new, of course. And he has basically started selling every single piece of airsoft equipment he has so that he can make this his primary, meaning he wants like 6 to 8 mags for this thing. So he is selling off his guns, he's selling off his gear, he's selling off his accessories, everything he has, just so he can make this his primary. So that might be a statement of the effect that this gun can have on you, because I want to make this my primary. I want to make this my primary bad. I want a proper sight for it, I want rails on it. I've already gotten rid of the orange, which is of course a huge pet peeve of mine. Yeah, I just want to play with this thing and experiment with it, and once you get this gun in your hands, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, KWA, you did a fantastic job making this gun, because it is unbelievable. So with that said, I will now take you to performance test outside with this gun, and have a great day, guys. Alright, so this is the performance demonstration of the KWA LM4. And of course, BB's loaded, gas in the mag, which of course is fed in through there. And we're good to go. So, semi first. And we'll switch to full auto. And that is what happens when your gun runs out of gas. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and see you next time.